15. Does that say 15? Ugh. All right, well, as snow moves through our area today, crews across Maryland are working to keep roads clear and to keep our drivers safe. So joining us now is Charlie Gischler from the Maryland Department of Transportation with the latest on road conditions, treatment efforts, and what drivers should expect throughout the day. Good morning, Charlie. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much. So let's start with the big picture here. What are road conditions looking like right now across the state? What are you guys seeing?
Out in the western Maryland mountains, they've been in snow operations in Garrett County for a couple of days in a row now. But yeah, we are starting to see some snow right at that snow rain line pick up a little bit in certain areas. So that's what we're dealing with right now. It looks like the pavement temperatures and the air temperatures are right at, or in some cases, just below freezing. So with a little treatment of salt on the roadway, this is going to be mostly a salting operation, except for areas where they get accumulating snow. That's ideal for that to work. So right now, so far on the state highway system, we haven't seen much in terms of any issues at this point. But that said, places up near the Mason-Dixon line where it's a little cooler, they may get some slushy buildup before we can get out there and push it off the side of the road.
So are those the areas you're most concerned about this morning and throughout the day today, kind of the northern portions of Maryland?
Northern, but eastern too. The storm's going to hug the coast here, so it looks like this time it's going to be east of the 95 corridor that we're going to be watching for accumulating snow. But the temperatures are supposed to go above freezing later, so that's going to turn that into rain. But still, the biggest thing I always tell people is be careful on bridges, ramps, and overpasses because they do freeze first. They don't have the insulation of the ground underneath of them. They're just kind of hanging out there, so they freeze first. So if you're venturing out today, be especially safe and go below the posted speed limit on bridges, ramps, overpasses, and in general on the highways. They're not ideal. Speed limits are set for dry conditions, and these obviously aren't dry conditions.
So let's talk about the preparations here, because I know you said you've had crews out there for a couple of days. So how many crews and plows are out? What are they focusing on? I know you said a little bit of salting the roadways. Tell me what they're doing and how this operation kind of works.
You get about 1,000 crews out statewide, from Garrett County to the lower Eastern Shore and everywhere in between. So that's what we're doing. We're just doing, the crews are doing their routes. The SHA crews, our contracting crews, are doing their routes, and we're just keeping an eye on it. And then, like it was said before, anything wet overnight, after sunset, has a potential to refreeze again. So we're going to have to keep crews in to make sure we can respond to any areas that may be prone to refreezing. So we're keeping a close eye on the weather forecasting and making sure we get out there and everybody's ready for Monday.
So I know you touched on this a bit, but let's talk about with drivers. If you had to give drivers one piece of advice before they head out today, what would that be? Because I know we're seeing this wintry mix going on, some snow. What would you tell drivers if they are planning to leave the house and venture out today?
The biggest thing I'd say is information first. Go to roads.maryland.gov. There you will have access to hundreds of traffic cameras that are live and real-time incident page, and also access to our storm application. That basically shows you where the equipment is and where they were for the last half hour. So using all that information, you can develop a good transportation plan. Number two, make sure that your vehicle is winter ready and the tires have adequate tread. All your vehicle lighting systems are in good operation. And if you did get accumulating snow, make sure that you clear your entire vehicle off, not just the window surfaces, but the hood and the roof as well.
All right, Charlie Gischler with MDOT there. Some good advice for drivers as they head out in this kind of dreary, bleak Sunday weather. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
All right, stay with us. WUSA 9 Mornings will be right back.